North Carolina beats Georgia State 59-17, pulling away with an impressive second-half performance that saw the Tar Heels outscore the Panthers 35-7 after the break. You don't talk about concerns to start when you win on the scoreboard that convincingly, so we're starting with the positives. Sam Howell. Following the worst passing game of his career, the junior bounced back in a big way, completing 21 of 29 passes for 3 touchdowns and 352 yards in the air. Excluding a drop late from Joffrey Brown, I thought this was also a big get-right game for the receivers. Anton Green eclipsed the 100-yard mark for the first time in his career, and Emery Simmons posted a career high in receiving yards as well. It's a different offense when you have players like Green and Simmons winning deep, and they both did that tonight. Josh Downs is going to continue to establish himself as a number one option, yet it's going to take more, and it's a great sign for this offense to have Green and Simmons showing out. The hope is that they can build on this momentum when they see an uptick in talent lining up across from them. Defensively for Carolina, the positives picked up where they left off last week with the young talent producing. In my mind, Myles Murphy was the best defensive player for the Tar Heels on the night, tallying a sack and 2 tackles for a loss. He proved to be a lot to handle in the trenches. Linebacker Cedric Gray was another player that flashed, even forcing a fumble in his snaps. Power Echols came in and picked up his first career interception, and all of a sudden you're starting to see players that could push for more playing time. Regardless of the final score, I have to bring up the elephant in the room. 2 games in, and it's still really hard to evaluate what Carolina has in the running back room with Ty Chandler. Without its best and most versatile lineman in Josh Ezeudu, the offensive line for the Tar Heels stumbled throughout the contest, failing to create any sort of consistent push or lanes to run through. You'd like to see all 5 projected starters playing together before passing judgment, but even then, the staff has talked up the depth up front. That's been non-existent. The most effective option for UNC in terms of opening up the game on the ground has been involving Sam Howell more in the run game. The team has 12 runs of 10 or more yards this season. Sam Howell has 8 of them. The challenge for Carolina will be limiting the number of clean shots that your star quarterback takes in a game, yet to me at least, it's becoming more evident that this has to become more of a staple in the offense for this team to win. Moving forward, it'll be worth monitoring the injuries to offensive lineman Josh Ezeudu, who didn't dress tonight like I mentioned before, and safety Jaquarius Conley, who returned late with a club on his hand. If you were to ask me who the most indispensable players were for the Carolina team, Sam Howell is the most obvious answer, with Ezeudu and Conley somewhere in that top 5. It would be a massive loss if either of those two were to miss serious time as the schedule ramps up. And it's about to with Virginia coming to town. We'll learn a lot about where this team is come next Saturday against a well-coached Cavalier team that has seemingly had UNC's number in recent years. Until then, for Inside Carolina, I'm Taylor Vippolis, and I'll see you next week from Kenan Stadium.